I've been pretty damn vocal with my thoughts on the newest Marvel's Avengers game. I hate how they made Spider-Man a PlayStation 4 console exclusive character. I really dislike the monetization system for this game, how they claim to give you a bunch of free stuff like they're such a nice company, yet every character has a paid cosmetic battle pass. The game has a rotating cosmetic store. The beta for this game went awfully, and now we're finding out just 3 weeks since launch how the newest patch fixes 1,000 things. We're not talking one thing, we're not talking 10 things, we're not even talking 100 things, but 1,000 different problems. And there are even players who are saying that this game still needs a bunch of different things fixed. And we're not just talking about small things being fixed either, we're talking about things like progression and matchmaking and animations. I mean, I don't even know how this game even got released at this point. So I'm going to start out with a GameSpot article. Crashes, graphical bugs, and progression blockers are among the bugs. Crystal Dynamics says it has fixed in patch notes for update 1.3.0 for Marvel's Avengers. Marvel's Avengers has had a tough launch. The game has endeared itself to players with a strong story and a pretty fun post-campaign live game component, even though the two parts didn't really feel in sync. But it's been plagued with bugs since its release. With the new update, developer Crystal Dynamics is hoping to clear out the infestation, claiming to address more than 1,000 issues. As Crystal Dynamics notes on the Avengers website, update 1.3.0 is the first big patch since Avengers launch. The focus is mostly on bugs at this point, with the quality of life changes coming down the line in later updates. For the time being, though, there are a lot of bugs to patch, ranging from weird graphical issues to major problems. PC players in particular have been complaining about the issue, but it's affected the console versions of the game as well. I did not buy this game at launch. I decided to hold off and to wait, maybe until they fix some of the problems, until it gets a little bit cheaper, especially with next generation games coming up. There are just a lot of games to balance, but this was a game that I was going to get at launch. I had this game ready to go. I was ready to purchase this game, and then I just decided, after seeing the awful beta, after seeing the monetization system, after seeing just how bad the lead up to the launch had gone, that I wasn't going to purchase it. I was not comfortable with giving them my $60, and I'm ultimately glad that I didn't purchase it by looking at this list of things. And this isn't even a full list of the 1,000 things that they fixed. These are just a couple of the major issues. So the first category is Reassemble Campaign and Avengers Initiative. Fixed an issue where A-Day would not progress if the player started the campaign from the war table. Fixed infinite loads while reloading the game during the last light that failed and to stand above. Fixing an issue where you would be teleported out of world when attacking the boss, between fight phases into stand alone. Fixed an issue where combat would not progress when defeating both assault adaptoids at the same time in By Force of Mind. Fixed a hole in geometry in Dogs of War. Fixed an issue where players would fall out of bounds in Along Came a Spider. These are not very small things. Fixed an issue preventing interrogation anxiety from being completed. This should also fix bad save states. The second category is multiplayer and matchmaking. Reduction of cooldown after leaving a strike team before the user could matchmake again, from 30 seconds down to 4 seconds. Matchmaking now stays enabled during mission launch. Fixed a bug where the Searching for Heroes UI would not always match the actual matchmaking status. Fixed a bug where leaving an existing strike team would prevent the next quick match attempt from working properly. Of course, here is an art and animation category, which, if you've seen any of the screenshots for this game, you've probably seen graphical issues. This game is so filled with graphical bugs and animation glitches. It's crazy. How did this game get through? This game is only 3 weeks old. Now, I get that before launch, they were at home, COVID messed up a lot of things. I completely understand that. But this game had been delayed for half of a year and they still released it in this type of state. The beta for this game was terrible, so we knew that it was going to release with a lot of problems. But after only 3 weeks, there's 1,000 things that had to be fixed. We see games release in buggy states all of the time, but this is really buggy and really broken to the point where I feel bad for people paying $60 for this. This doesn't sound like it should have been a $60 title with the problems. People that are paying $60 for a game shouldn't have to deal with receiving a half-assed game like this. If you needed to fix 1,000 things, maybe the game just wasn't ready to be released. Some other issues are user interface, fixed an issue with faction prisoner rescue, various localization and text fixes, cancel label added to push-pull piston UI when interaction option is set to tap. Based on player feedback, we have implemented a 0 to 10 motion blur slider. When set at 0, motion blur is completely disabled. I think that some of the changes in this are good. I'm glad that they ultimately fixed a lot of these things. I'm glad that they didn't just set it and forget it and just leave the game to what it is, and they actually did fix it. But these are major problems, and here are some of the combat ones. Fixed an issue where control point events would continue to spawn new enemies after completing the control requirement. I'm not going to read all of this. Gears, challenges, and rewards, and then there's platform specific fixes. But I wanted to really go over to their Twitter and show you all kind of the general response to this. Someone said not even Jay-Z has that many problems. 1,000 issues? Big yikes. Someone else said exactly what I was thinking. Live service, AAA game. This is supposed to be a $60 AAA title, and these are the problems that it's facing? Now, recently I actually talked about how next generation games are going up to $70, and someone quote tweeted the Marvel's Avengers tweet and said, and the industry has the balls to ask for more money for games. Someone said, I know most of these issues are probably tiny, but Jesus, it's true, there are a lot of really small problems in this patch that they fixed, but there are also a lot of massive ones. The fact that they released a patch that fixes 1,000 issues proves how messed up the Marvel's Avengers game really is. Don't get me wrong, I like the game and want it to succeed. However, as much potential this game has, even I have to admit this game kind of sucks. The game looks interesting. I liked the premise of it. I liked the idea of it. Unfortunately, though, it was just executed really poorly. And again, I know that COVID messed a lot of things up, but they really tried here to push it out when it really seemed like it wasn't ready to be released yet. It really needed a couple of more months for them to really fix it and for it to really shine. This is a game that I actually was going to get, but I decided not to because of the controversy surrounding it, because of the awful beta, because of the microtransactions. But wow, this game was really not finished. I'm glad that they decided to fix the problems though. Sometimes companies will launch a game and completely forget about the game. They will not ever update the game. So I'm glad that they did fix the problems. But yikes. This is why I talk about bad companies and bad games, because games shouldn't be releasing this buggy and this broken, and companies need to stop doing this type of shit. Consumers don't like this, and this isn't going to get you a better reputation in the industry. They should have just held this game off a little bit longer and made it perfect, because so many more people would respect the company and would have purchased the game. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to give it a like and share it. And of course, if you did not, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.